There's been a lot of discussion. I've seen a lot of this on social media recently of, people who are kind of on the fence about Trump, interacting with other people. And they say, well, really, has your life gotten worse under Donald Trump? At the end of the day, when you look at everything with your life, has anything actually changed since Trump became president? And I know there's lots of people in this country who say yes, but to be perfectly honest, most people in this country, the answer would be no. I guess technically no. My day-to-day life, has not been impacted yet so far by Donald Trump being president of the United States, which even that is not true because we are being exposed to higher levels of corporate toxins in our drinking water, toxins in the air, abuse by corporations, the deregulation. That does affect all of us. It's just that people don't necessarily notice it right away. But there are groups of people in this country who immediately got slammed by this administration and their ass backwards policies. And one of the biggest groups, one of the groups that's seen the most impact on their daily lives since Trump came to office and started doing all these awful things, American farmers. Ironically enough, American farmers in red states, in the reddest counties in the red states that voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, those people have been hit harder financially than virtually any other group in this country by Donald Trump's policies. Specifically, his trade wars have absolutely decimated American farmers. In 3 states, Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin in 2018, the number of farmer bankruptcies doubled in those 3 states. States like Arkansas saw the number of bankruptcies amongst farmers increase by 96%. Farmers all over this country are going bankrupt because of Donald Trump's trade wars and some of the ridiculous trade deals that he worked out that actually hurt American farmers more. So what's happening right now across the globe is that American goods, because of trade wars, tariffs, whatever it is, and decreased demand is part of it, American goods are no longer the most attractive. We're not the best price, we're not the best quality, so they're turning elsewhere. And actually, Australia has been one of the huge beneficiaries of Trump's trade wars because now instead of countries looking to us to buy our produce, they're actually buying it from Australia, who's making a ton of money. While our farmers, the people who put Donald Trump in office or helped to put him in office, they're losing their livelihoods. Farms that have been in families for generations, gone. Their future, gone. And they have no idea what to do. This is all they've known for their entire life. These people are struggling. These people are hurting. And some of them do understand that they did this to themselves. They regret it. They're sorry about it. And they've made sure to say that they're not going to make that mistake again. But at this point, this goes beyond partisan politics, right? This isn't about, oh, good, Trump voters getting what they deserve. That's not what this is about. What this is about, it's not a left issue, it's not a right issue, it's about American human beings suffering. It's about an American industry going under. An American industry with workers that need help. And I think all of us, regardless of our political affiliation, should be able to get behind that. And I'm not saying that we need to continue to increase our subsidies to these farmers, which increased by 18% last year, by the way. We shouldn't just shovel billions of dollars towards them and say, hey, keep voting for Republicans. Here you go, shut up. We need to do something better. We need to help them. We need to make them more competitive again on the global stage. And the only way to do this is to put an end to the trade war now. There are no talks going on, as Trump insists on Twitter. That's not happening. There's no progress being made. We're coming up very fast on the 1-year anniversary of his first tariff that he put in place and the first retaliatory tariff that was put on us. It's been almost a year. And for that entire year, he has been tweeting out constantly like, talks are going great. China's buckling. They're going to give in to us. Look at us. We're doing so awesome. It wasn't true then. It wasn't true 4 months ago. It's not true today. And it's not going to be true 3 months from now. Trump doesn't know how to handle this situation. He's not a smart person. He's not a good businessman. He's not. You look at what he's done since becoming president of the United States, and if you think that he's done a good job or that he's a good negotiator or a good businessman, then there's something wrong with your brain. And I mean that absolutely seriously. If you think he's doing a good job, you need to go have your head examined. Because every single piece of evidence says otherwise. The suffering taking place in the American Midwest and the American South right now, the people who put him in office, they're the ones getting hammered the most. And I guarantee you, if you go ask any of them if they're super happy with everything the president has done, most of them are going to give you an answer that would probably have to be bleeped out if it was shown on network television. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.